Hi!
Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm here in Palm Springs with Paul.
Safely.
Safely. I drove here. Basically, I went from one bubble to another bubble. I've been quarantined in Arizona.
I've been quarantining too.
So we've been quarantining for longer than 2 weeks and decided that it would be safe to come out to Palm Springs and really not do anything. We did a lot, but we just stayed in the condo.
Yes.
And it's been a really nice break, change of scenery. I feel very grateful. Thank you.
I'm so grateful that you came.
It's amazing what this trip has done and how everything has changed in the world. On that note, we want to tell you that we are absolute allies of our Black friends and families. Black lives do matter to us, and we are doing a lot, I think, individually and with the whole movement. We don't tolerate any racial injustice or anything of that nature on this channel or in our lives. We just want to let you know that, and we are thinking about everyone who's participating in protests and taking action. Hopefully together we can all create this new world.
We're long overdue.
Yeah. We are hoping that you're well, and now we are going into something completely creatively fun for us, which is a haul. I haven't been thrifting at all since, I don't know, I want to say like February.
Yeah, I think the last time I went was even before the last market, which for me was January, so it's been a minute.
Wow.
I know.
That's a long time.
Feels like 6 years ago.
It
the
really
way this
does.
year has been, but
it's so strange. I have plenty of stuff, which is what I realized during this entire quarantine period. I have gone through a portion of my stuff, realized how much I had, and rediscovered some of it. So I grabbed some stuff.
And my haul will be a little bit different because I have not been thrifting in forever, and I feel like I've shown you guys all the stuff that I have at this point. And so I'm gonna do a little self-care haul of the things that are making me happy nowadays, staying in and staying safe. It is challenging. Most of you are probably doing the same thing, but I thought I'd still share some specific things in those categories that I think you might wanna try out as we continue to keep ourselves entertained safely. The first one, obviously not revolutionary at all, is the love of cooking that many of us have found. I've always loved cooking. I find it meditative, and I love processes where I follow a recipe and then ones where I come up with something on my own. And lately I've been trying some new recipes out. One of my favorite cookbooks is this one.
Founding Farmers.
Founding Farmers, and the story of this one is that our dear friend Katie, she was out visiting, and Jackie was there as well, and we went away and rented a house it was sort of near Santa Barbara in the Lompoc, I think. We went there, we rented a house, and Katie made the cornbread from this cookbook, and it was like incredible. Now, everything in this cookbook is loaded with butter and things that you probably shouldn't be eating, but during this time, we're all eating things that make us happy and fill our soul, and this is a great soul food cookbook. The thing I made last night was their meatloaf. This recipe for their meatloaf, but it was really, really yummy. Very hearty. Served with some English peas and roasted potatoes. And yeah, cooking has just been one of those things that, especially now, I've been craving and loving. And I think I showed this maybe on a live. It's an old cookbook I had found.
American
Heritage Cookbook out here. And it's got some really cool pictures in it. And some of the recipes are, talk about Philadelphia sticky buns. I bet they are so good. In the 19th century, sticky buns, a Philadelphia specialty, were sold fresh every day and were eaten at breakfast, tea time, and dinner. Yeah. So I want to go through some of these old recipes and see if they hold up.
Yeah, I don't make that many recipes from the cookbooks. I kind of collect some older cookbooks, but I haven't made very many. Scandinavian fish pudding. I don't know about that one.
Do they eat that in Frozen? Does Elsa eat Scandinavian fish pudding?
Codfish cakes. Cioppino.
Found something.
Seagull paperback book exchange. So it's Huntington Beach. Me too.
It made its way from Huntington Beach to Palm Springs, and now it's here with me. Jackie made an incredible quiche while she was here.
Tonight we're having leftovers because we made so much food. Obviously we're like, let's just make food.
Quiche,
so we made a bunch of food. When I put everything together, just the stuff that I could find, I decided, oh wait, it's kind of a Palm Springs haul. It reminds me of stuff that would be leisurely fun. If you rented a little Airbnb out here, it would be fun to have all of these things. Starting with, ooh. This is a bar guide. It's very
There's a lot of
thick
drinks in there,
and
huh?
giant. And
Oh, you found something too. Non-alcoholic drinks.
That's funny.
Sorry,
So
Emmy.
this was in the front of the book. 12 for the road, non-alcoholic drinks.
That's a good idea.
It looks like it's produced by the weather people
I
of
got Squirt. Do you remember Squirt?
Squirt. They still make Squirt or no?
I don't think so.
This is just a huge book.
Wow.
I got this at a the last church rummage sale that I went to this year. Apricot Tom and Jerry, Archbishop's Punch, which does indeed have alcohol in it. Aristocrat Sparkling Punch, that's for this guy.
Uh-huh.
So you can look up the different liquors that you have and try to make something from them. I think it was like $1.
I love the color.
Yeah, me too.
Do you know who Jones was?
I looked it up when I got it, that's why I decided to get it. It's 1977. Over 4,000 recipes in this book. What? Okay, so that's my number one. Bar guide.
Okay. Next in the self-care playlist
Yes.
is reading. Because reading is what? Fundamental. That's from Drag Race. So I wanted to share a couple things. For me, like everyone's reading, obviously now more than ever. Two things that have worked for me are seeking out things that are uniquely like, just like things that you are unabashedly excited and love. So whether it be, you know, you used to collect baseball cards and you're like, I haven't looked at a baseball card in years, but I love baseball cards. Or, I don't know, like crafting, whatever. Like find that thing that makes you just super, super happy. If you've watched us before, you know that we love Disney.
Oh my gosh.
So I found this gentleman who wrote a book about Epcot called The Thinking Fan's Guide to Walt Disney World Epcot. Like, that this exists, thank you Amazon. Some of the questions posed are, should a future world attraction ever take place in the past? Do Disney characters belong in Epcot? Has
No.
Epcot lost its way?
No.
The fact that somebody wrote a book that is like our brains is pretty remarkable. So I
Inquiring
read this.
minds want to know.
Yeah, and don't be embarrassed to read things that make you happy, or like just go find a book, sit down with it, it'll make you happy. I read this in like 3 days and I'm giving it to
Great.
Jackie to
Thank
take
you.
now. And then the other thing that's really great for just picking up, these are called something when it's like you could pick up any page, flip it open and read. It's like not a...
Are they essays?
They're not essays. This is the first one is the Rolling Stone interviews book, and I picked this up years ago, and each one is just the way that it's like an interview where it's broken down question, answer, and for me and the way I read, that connects really well for me, and so you can just pick it up one night and be like, oh, I don't know anything about Johnny Cash particularly, and find out a whole bunch of stuff before bed without feeling like you're if you're like sometimes reading a book where sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to like be sad tonight because it's maybe a sad book. Something like this is great. Another great one is Judd Apatow's book, Sick in the Head, which is all interviews with comedians.
Oh, interesting.
So they like Jim Carrey, Ben Stiller, Key and Peele, Martin Short, Michael Che.
And he interviewed them?
And he interviewed all these people, and again, it's written in that same way where it's question and answer. And I don't know, that's just more digestible for me sometimes than reading like a dense interview. So, 2 different ways to satisfy your reading craves.
This, I also got at an estate sale.
That could be worn by someone at Epcot in the 80s.
It's so beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
It looks, it's like this long...
It's hot because it's in your car.
I know, it wasn't my car. It's like
That's
100
so
degrees.
fun.
It's a very long... I can imagine someone here by the pool with a cocktail.
Big
and
hat.
the name of the dress company is Malini Hawaii. So it's a Hawaiian dress, and it does remind me of Hawaii, tiki vintage Hawaii.
Great colors. I've taken up the craft of needle punching, and this is the one I'm currently working on. I came up with this design and picked out a whole bunch of yarn to make this. You use this little pen, that's it. You thread the yarn through it,
Yeah, so
and
there's a hole
all
at
you
the bottom.
do is just punch, 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 and it really...
So it kind of creates a loop and then stays on the top, right? So it's, if you pulled it out, it would be one long piece of... Okay.
And it's pretty, like, I can watch a bad Hallmark movie and do it in the background, and it's also a good, like, takes up mind activity. The only issue I'm having with this, and maybe you have some recommendations here if you do this, is that this round guy works pretty well. So I started this with a company called Needlepoint Club. You can look them up. They send you the starter kit. They send you this ring, they send you your first piece of fabric, and the yarn you'll need to complete the project, and it's a great way to get introduced. But the fabric that they sell is the best fabric. Like, this is one, I've tried like 3 different ones. I bought one at Michael's, I did one on Amazon. This one's okay, but it doesn't like take the punch as well as some of the other ones. So I'm still on the search for the best fabric that's also not too expensive. But also on top of that, the holder, I got another one that's wooden, has some dowels, and yesterday I was punching it, and it like just, it was impossible.
There's not enough tension.
Yeah.
Is it like with embroidery where you can just move it around and then, do you know what I'm saying? Only work on part of it? Like you would only put this around, I guess you would have to fold it. Say you were working on this part of it, if this were a larger piece, you'd move the whole thing over. So part of this would be,
okay.
So you only...
So if I was doing a bigger piece.
Right.
Yeah.
You would only work on part of it at a time.
That's a good idea.
But I don't know if it would ruin it if this were folded over on this piece here. It's almost like a magnifying glass. So you just work on certain parts.
That makes sense. That other wooden one I might just return, but...
that was it looked nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It just didn't hold. But this has been really fun. So Needle Art Club is it. It's a fun way to... And then they're like $30, $40, the starter kit with it for everything, and you're off and running.
There's so many incredible designs. I'm gonna share with you something that is also Disney, but I think it could be used here in Palm Springs. I don't know if this is an ashtray or what, but it's a vintage Disneyland tray. It kind of reminds me of like your little record things.
Sorry, we have a creeper.
And it's all of the different lands in Disneyland.
Wow.
It actually still has a mark. I got this at Goodwill probably 5 years ago.
We have a creeper.
Emmy.
We have a creeper. I'm sorry.
What do you think? Do you like it?
She'll do this.
She loves it.
Where like she gets this little itch where we're not paying enough attention to her, and
she was pretty bored with the beginning of our video, but
Where'd
it's
you
all
find that?
a Goodwill.
Wow.
Goodwill's in
stuff.
Arizona, and I don't know what the thrifting landscape will look like after all of this, because I'm pretty much afraid to.
I know.
Like have all those germs in my house. She just resituated herself.
I'm sorry.
I mean, is this an ashtray? A candy dish?
No, a candy dish. Because a cigarette would like warble around in there.
I don't know.
And Disney wouldn't sell an ashtray, would they?
Yes! Old-fashioned Disney. Walt was a smoker. Or you were saying with selling in markets, and the last time I was here, we went to the Ace Hotel and we're selling. What does that look like in the future? Are there going to be any more Palm Springs vintage markets? What does the Mojave Flea look like? I just don't know.
I know. Okay, so my next self-care thing is get a dog. This one, actually. No, having a dog has been incredible. They are such a good emotional support. So my next self-care thing is, these are so old school, and I feel like everyone does stuff on their iPads or like tablets or whatever now, and like there's still something to be enjoyed in a sit down and finish a puzzle on paper.
Yeah.
And these ones are so complicated and hard and will take like a good amount of time, and they're just variety ones. And this was in there, and this is, I think I've told the story before, but that pottery up there is from this little gallery when we went to New Zealand last year. And it has such a special memory, we keep it up on our shelf.
Why don't I grab it? Which one is it?
It's the one. So real quick story. We were driving through New Zealand last year on this amazing vacation, and I really wanted to get something for my mom and dad. And so there was a sign that said pottery 3 miles this way, and we're driving through and if you've been to New Zealand, it's like we were in South Island, and it's like one long road that you're just driving. And I was like, that's a sign. And we pull in, and it's this like most idyllic pottery shop with a woman teaching kids pottery and how to it was like so perfect. And found this beautiful, I don't know what to call it even, just cup. Dublin Bay on the bottom. So if anyone here is watching from New Zealand or has interested in, because New Zealand is the place to be right now. They've like beaten COVID.
Yeah.
The city of Wanaka, which is also like the most idyllic, awesome city. Every house looks like a Dwell photo shoot. Find your way to the Dublin Bay Gallery. Tell Jill and Heather I say hi. And yeah, they were just like this wonderful place. I love finding stuff like that, like in a puzzle book that reminds you, jogs a memory. Every time I look at this, I think about the trip, and who knows when we'll be taking trips like that again. So
yeah, someday.
Someday.
Which sparkling water are you drinking?
Aha!
Lemon. Oh, I've wanted to try that.
They combine flavors. They're lovely.
This is watermelon Perrier. Delicious. My next little piece is also from Goodwill. This is a game of Mahjong. Here's the book. Rules and directions for the game. And then, and I can try to figure out which year it's from, but it has all of these little pieces.
My sister-in-law plays Mahjong with her mom every week.
There are these little pieces here. Then there are these black pieces as well.
Wow.
Yeah. And then all of these pieces. Someone covered one of them and this says go on it. So it looks like someone covered a piece. Look how many pieces there are. These are all of the, I don't know, game pieces here. And then also the little, I don't know what these are. See, I don't know what to call them. I don't know how to distinguish.
What they are.
But what has kind of prevented me from doing anything with this is, what is a complete Mahjong set? How many pieces are there? Does that matter? I don't know. So it's a vintage Mahjong, and this to me reminds me of, so we watched Marie Antoinette last night. There's a scene where they have all of these games going and these little pieces, these little pink, I don't know what they are. They're probably alabaster or something. Game pieces and champagne glasses everywhere. Appetizers, it is. It's very indulgent. And this game reminds me of that sort of setting, but here in Palm Springs. Oh, this is a set from 1924.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
It's really awesome. It's in great condition.
This was in the car to go back to the Goodwill, but I was like, I'll bring it.
Yeah.
Do you need a certain number of pieces? I don't know. I have a rules book here.
You should just look up how many pieces in a Mahjong set, and then
count all of these.
Yeah, just count them out.
Yeah.
And then find a pretty box.
Oh, yeah.
And a ribbon.
It actually was, okay, so you're just reminding me of this too. It actually was in a box, but I threw it away. It had a ribbony outside, but it was kind of falling apart. That was probably a mistake, but I make a lot of mistakes. So.
Everyone likes a nice health product. Are you a beauty influencer?
No.
Me either. Until now. And these are two, I've been really into face sprays during the day because I just feel like it gets like sticky out. It's gonna be 109 degrees here next week, which is insane. So just coming in after taking the beast out for a walk and you're just like sweating and schwitzing. These two have been my favorites. One of them is from Too Faced. It's called Hangover 3-in-1. I think it's mostly for people who are putting on makeup, and I've only done that once on this channel, but it's still really nice and smells nice. It's coconut water. Just gonna do a little. Nice.
I said, ooh, it smells like Hawaii.
I know.
This also, it's like, yeah, that vibe.
Like there's nothing wrong with a face
Pools
mist.
And, oh, that's really nice.
But this one is my
You know what
favorite.
this is? It's a setting spray too, yeah, for makeup. It sets your makeup.
So you spray this and then.
But it says refresher and setting spray. Yeah,
it does
that's really
a whole
nice.
lot of stuff.
Love it.
And then this one though is my all-time favorite, and I picked this up. It's Kiehl's Oil Eliminator one, and when you smell this one, it's a shine control toner for men specifically. But I mean, instantly cools skin and neutralizes excess oil to reduce the appearance of shine and pores. And
oh, it's nice.
Isn't that nice?
It reminds me of
a health club maybe?
Yeah, like a spa.
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit of mint or something in it. That's nice.
Look at how we glow now.
Ooh, look at that.
Tongue pops are off today.
That's nice. Next up is a book. You know, what are you gonna read while you're out in Palm Springs? This is a vintage copy of Postcards from the Edge.
Whoa.
Steve Martin's review, it says Carrie's book, it's Carrie Fisher's book. Carrie's book is savagely funny and savagely revealing. It makes Moby Dick seem like a big fat dumb book.
Steve Martin is so funny.
I know.
This is awesome. Oh, where'd you find? Oh, Goodwill.
I don't know where I found it. I think I found it at Savers.
Have you ever seen this movie?
Yes. Isn't it? It's about her so tell people, you know more about it than I.
I haven't. I would love to read this book.
You can borrow it.
Can I?
Yeah, for sure.
Carrie Fisher is played by Meryl Streep, and Debbie Reynolds is played by... Everyone's screaming right now. Oh my god. Shirley MacLaine.
Carrie Fisher's mom is Debbie Reynolds in real life so it's about their relationship, right?
There's definitely like issues with the movie, but there's some really, really great stuff in it too. There's an awesome scene where Shirley MacLaine like kind of
hold it up.
Overwhelms the scene like you think Debbie might have done with I don't know. Watch it. It's great. That would look really nice on a Palm Springs bookshelf.
Well, this is what that it's one of my favorite things to do is to find a book for any look. I want to pair it.
A book for any look?
I already said that in one of our videos and you had the same reaction.
Wait, can you please go back and put it in the video?
Kind of find a book for your look. It's like that's awesome. I mean, we're just gonna regurgitate the things that we've already...
Listen, this is where we are in the world right now. If you're watching this, I don't know what to tell you.
With it.
Mike Nichols has a pull quote here too, who I believe directed the movie. Carrie Fisher has a unique and startling voice. Spiritually, Postcards from the Edge suggests Holden Caulfield in Beverly Hills. Suzanne Vale and Holden both have sensibilities too great for their environment. Carrie Fisher, it turns out, is a born writer. She is seriously funny. Can you imagine Mike Nichols saying that about you? Look at her in the...
And now I'm gonna let Paul tell you a story about how he climbed over the wall and... No, I'm kidding. I won't mention that. Do you remember when you did that? When you went to her
my
house?
God. I was like, what are you talking about? I could tell that story.
Yes, I want Paul to tell. If you've ever worked in LA, which if you've been there for any sort of time, you will have all sorts of jobs.
Yes, and your hair will turn gray like this. I worked on a sitcom called Good Morning Miami. If you look it up, it was Mark Feuerstein, Ashley Williams, oh my gosh, Constance Zimmer, who is actually like probably of the group, she's like the most prolific now. She's popped up in so many things and she's so talented. They were all actually lovely people. I was very fortunate. My first job, I was a night PA, which at the time, I don't even think the job exists anymore, but you print up all the scripts after every single day of the writer's writing, because they write every day of the week, and then like that script is at a certain place, it has to go out that night to everyone in the cast. So I would sometimes around like 11 o'clock at night, copies printed out, pack them up and get in my car and drive around Los Angeles.
I remember once you called me and you were like, wait, I'm gonna put you in my pocket. So you put the phone in your pocket, you went to Mark Feuerstein's house. And you were like, I'm just gonna keep the phone on. So you went up and he was like, hey man, and you gave him the script and then you left.
And he had to get the script first because he was the star.
All around LA.
So if you know LA, this is like Studio City is where I was working, and I had to drive straight to Santa Monica, which is that's not the closest one in deliveries, but I went straight to Santa Monica to deliver his first because he was always like working with a coach on Good Morning Miami. Anyway, one of the guest stars, we were fortunate enough to have Carrie Fisher played Mark's mother on the show. She did like 3 episodes, and so I had to deliver her script. Now, that previous story I just told you about going to Santa Monica is important because I knew that Carrie Fisher was like at that point like the person who should probably get the script first. So I drive over the hill. She lived on Laurel Canyon Boulevard, which is one of the streets that goes over the valley into Los Angeles, and vice versa. Or was it Coldwater? Whatever, it was a canyon road. I pulled into her driveway, and it was a big gate. I buzzed in, and somebody answered and buzzed me in. So I go down the driveway, and at the time I was like, I probably shouldn't drive up Carrie Fisher's driveway. It's Carrie Fisher, like, this is not a good idea. So I leave the car in front of the gate. I walk up the driveway. She's got like a chandelier hanging from a tree. She had a pinball machine, I think. Like it just was like very eclectic and cool. A ranch style house. I go up the front steps, I knock on the door, and actually I take that back. It was a screen door that was open. The door inside was open. It was a screen door. I ring the doorbell and no one answers. I ring it again, nobody answers. So I like bang on the door and I'm like, Miss Fisher, Miss Fisher. And somebody yells in the house, Mom, there's somebody here for you. And Carrie came to the door, and I think she might have been sleeping, and I handed her the script, and she was very nice. She was like, oh, thank you for this. And I say goodnight, and I walk back down the driveway, and I look, and the gate is closed. And so I'm like, what do I do? And at the time, I don't think I knew that there's probably a tripwire somewhere, which is what usually activates the gate.
If you had your car, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't know. I go back up to the house, and the door is still open. She didn't close the door behind her. So I ring the doorbell, yell, nobody answers. I go back down the driveway, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, the gate was probably 12 feet high. And so I'm standing in front of the gate, and I actually go back up to the house one more time, and I am screaming, like, Carrie, Miss Fisher, please, can you come to the door? I'm trapped in your driveway. And nobody comes to the door, like, for probably 20 minutes.
Oh
and I
God.
Also had to get to Mark because he's always, like, waiting for the script. So I'm, like, freaking out. I go back down, and I look, and there is one of those, like, the gate opener is right about, like 2 feet off the ground. And I am like, this is it. And so I put my foot on top of it, and I use whatever like low upper body strength I have to pull myself up onto the top of the gate. And I am 12 feet off the ground, and cars are like whizzing by on Laurel Canyon like a crazy person. And I jump off of her gate to get out of Carrie Fisher's house. I jumped off of 12 feet, and like I honestly like almost blew my knee out. Like, it was so high off the ground. And I survived. I was able to get back in my car and deliver the scripts for the rest of the night. And I told everybody at work the next day, and they were all like dying. It was like, I cannot believe you had to escape Carrie Fisher's house, but I did.
Well, congratulations.
That's gonna be a separate episode.
Yeah.
By the way, just pull that right out and make it a bonus scene. But yeah, it was an epic job. Lots of memories from that. That's LA.
Fun times.
So my quarantine candy obsession, and I bejeweled this is also, I forgot to say, this is, once I pull it out, I was bored one night and I had these bejewels things.
Oh, you did
from an episode.
You talked about these.
Big chewy nerds.
Oh.
And they are so delicious.
I still love nerds.
Oh my god, here we go. I guess it's coming back.
Thank you. It's chewy. Is it sour?
You tell me.
Mmm. Oh, it tastes like nerds.
Not so good.
And I would like suck the color out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Make your mouth burn. Mm-hmm. These are delicious.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's my last one. They sell them on Amazon. This big container's like $20.
So why did you bejewel the thing?
Good question. I was bored. I mean, that's where we are.
I like it.
I produced an episode of Genie where we did I bejeweled a cup for Mama. Don't tell anybody because we were supposed to make it look like Mama bejeweled it herself, but I actually did it. And I had these left over, and I was just like, yes, if you watch Hello Honey and you see the cup that Mama is using.
It's a YouTube show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. We hope everyone's being safe.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and call your mothers.
Are you still a Thrifty Miss on YouTube?
I am, but everything else is changing, so.
So you'll know when a Thrifty Miss posts a brand new episode. Emmy
Take
does
care.
too. Say hi. Say bye, Emmy.